Joining me today is a woman who can help us all live the life that we want and break free from burnout. Thrive's global head of content development and the author of Your Time to Thrive, Marina Khidekel. Welcome to the middle.
Thank you so much, Ashley. It's so great to be here with you.
I'm so happy to have you. So, first, I guess, tell me about Thrive Global and then give me a brief summary of the book.
Sure. So Thrive is a leading behavior change tech company, founded by Ariana Huffington, launched in 2016 with the mission of changing the way we live and work and sort of eradicating the stress and burnout epidemic that was already a problem before the pandemic. So really Thrive helps individuals, companies, and communities improve their well-being and performance through our behavior change platform, through storytelling, and through our corporate services. And really the foundation of Thrive as a company and the book are microsteps, which is what this book is all about.
Okay, so let's start there. First of all, thank you for it's like my new Bible. So thank you for putting it into the world. And I think especially now with more people working from home, and maybe I don't know if it's just a mental thing, but I feel like it's harder to turn off. So talk to me about these micro steps and then how we can actually start incorporating them into our lives in an easy way.
Yeah, absolutely. So the word microsteps, people hear it and they kind of instantly get what it is, but also like, wait, what is that again? So a microstep, just to break it down, they're small science-backed actions that you can start doing immediately to build healthy habits that will significantly improve your life, and you'll see results really right away. So we actually started writing this book before the pandemic, but then the pandemic hit. We were all in lockdown. Myself and the editors of Thrive working on writing this book. Like our worlds were turned upside down like everyone else's. So it's interesting because this mission mattered before, but it became even more poignant during the pandemic when everyone was really struggling and feeling so overwhelmed with everything. So we really leaned into the fact that you can help, it's great to think big, but we can really help ourselves by starting small. And micro steps break down habits and behaviors and mindset shifts into what we call too small to fail units. So you can't fail. And, everyone's feeling overwhelmed. I'm sure you have felt overwhelmed at times in the pandemic. Like we weren't thriving. We weren't. So we kept looking for, this book to be sort of there, a little light at the end of the tunnel, to be like, we weren't thriving this year, and this is our time to thrive. And the way that we can do it is with the smallest possible steps, because the idea of a big life overhaul feels ridiculous.
Scary. And even, I read a lot of books that are supposed to, I hate to say self-help books, but I read things that are supposed to instill these new patterns and things into my life. But sometimes after you finish the book, or maybe a week after, it's hard to continue to incorporate these things. So I loved your example. I watched you and Ariana talking about the book back in January, and I loved your example about just turning off or not turning your phone on as soon as you wake up. And I've been doing that, just giving myself even just 30 seconds before I reach for the phone. So can you just re-explain that? Because I love that micro step.
Yes. I'm glad it has resonated, because I think this can resonate with so many people. It's my favorite micro step. When I first heard about it, I was like, what can this do? And that's sort of the point of the whole book. You'll read the micro steps and be like, that's it? It's like, yes. And that's the point, because that's the only way we'll keep doing it. And it gives us something small to celebrate each day. Like, yes, I did my micro step. Like I'm, invested in my well-being for the day. But my favorite, the one that you're mentioning, is I challenged myself to not look at my phone for 1 minute after I woke up each morning. Like a lot of people, I used to just roll over in bed before I even got out of bed or fully opened my eyes. I was on my phone looking. And I started experiencing, especially during the pandemic when that started, this palpable spike of anxiety every morning. And I knew it was connected to that. And I knew I didn't feel great when I did it. And so when I challenged myself to do the 1 minute thing, I would just take a couple breaths, or drink a glass of water, or set an intention for the day, something super small and simple, literally 1 minute. I wouldn't go longer than that. And when I did it, I stopped feeling that spike of anxiety that would last for hours. And I realized why it was so bad to do it. And it's like when you start your day looking at your phone, what you're doing is starting your day focused on what other people want from you, like your emails and your texts, what inspires other people if you scroll through social media, and the scary news headlines of the day, which is not calming. So rather than focus on what you want from your own day. And so that one tiny minute can really shift your whole experience of the day, you know, how you experience your day, how you treat people and interact with people throughout your day. It's a tiny thing, but it really worked for me.
And it's worked for me even not in the very start, at the start of the day. Like, for example, today my phone seemed to be possessed by demons and just wasn't letting me upload the things I need. Just everything was going wrong. And I felt the anxiety rising. I felt everything just crumbling. So I put it down and I just was breathing. And it's just something so simple. And I love, that's this whole book, and there's so much truth that resonates. So I guess, what has been the response like from people who have started practicing this?
It has been incredible. And by the way, we don't put anything out that we haven't tried. So you'll see in each chapter, there's a micro-step diary by a Thrive staffer. So you get this kind of voyeuristic peek into what it actually looks like in someone's life. And some of them really worked well, and some of them had, you know, challenges. But it's really interesting to see. The response has been incredible because it's just sort of a freeing thing that you don't have to turn your life upside down and make these huge changes to see a difference. You can just do one small thing. And that is actually a great point that you bring up, Ashley. And Ariana brings this point up all the time too. Breathing is such an important pillar of our well-being, and we don't pay attention to it enough. So neuroscience says it only takes 60 to 90 seconds to course correct from a stressful moment. And in that minute, just focus on the rising and falling of your breath. That's a micro step that Ariana loves, that I love, that works for a lot of people. And it really resets you. It gives you that reset that you need in between meetings. You're not running to meetings, you know, Zoom meetings like a, you know,
Right.
like chicken with its head cut off. You're actually taking that time to reset and ground yourself. So the response has been incredible. I think, you know, people like that we drink our own champagne, we call it. So we've tried them out before you did, and they're all, you know, based in science. There's a lot of storytelling in this book, a lot of science, and actually a lot of ancient wisdom that is more relatable to our modern day than we tend to think. So that's another interesting wrinkle as well.
And I'm so curious, what has it been like for you to work with the powerhouse that is Arianna Huffington?
Oh my goodness. She is a force, and I learn something from her every day. She's incredible. And, you know, she started Thrive to fight against this idea that burnout is the price that we have to pay for success. So many people go through life being like, I want to be a success, so I have to grind, I've got to hustle, you know, the whole toxic hustle culture that has you know, like there's a backlash brewing to that for good reason. And part of it is the huge mountain of science growing that you can't be well and successful without investing in your well-being and taking that time to breathe and to sleep and to focus on your connections with yourself and others and your creativity and your sense of wonder and awe and purpose. All those things are redefining what it means to be successful. It's not just money and power. It's all those really important things that we tend to not lump into the definition of success. And Ariana was ahead of her time and sort of, you know, bringing those ideas to the forefront, and she lives it.
And I love too, I mean, this book starts with a foreword from her talking about how like the sleep deprivation, and to see that someone who is so successful, and you know, we do it all the time when we look at people on Instagram and we're seeing these glossy versions of people and painting this picture in our mind of perfection, and then that person is collapsing from sleep exhaustion. Like it's just so insane to think about. And we really do, everyone is experiencing this, even the people who seem to be, you know, having it all together. And I love that sleep is the first chapter, because that is something I'm always struggling with. So I mean, there's something in this for every single person. And I feel like there's also things that you may not have realized you needed to read. So that's helpful too.
Oh my gosh, yes. And Ariana will be the first to say that we are all works in progress. No one is perfect. No one is, and that's why micro steps are so cool, because it's really, you can't get them wrong. If you don't do it one day, just do it the next. If one's not working for you, just pick another one that works better with your life. Even my favorite micro step, I admit, I don't do it every single morning. And those mornings I don't, I'm like, okay, got to get back on that micro step. So it's, they're too small to fail for a reason. But yes, absolutely. I think, especially during this time, we all have to have a lot of compassion for ourselves and for others. And that's built into this book. At the end of each chapter, there's an interactive section with sort of prompts and challenges and thought starters that you can just sit and think about for a second to decide how you want to act on what you just read.
So how long do you think it took you to start thriving, like using the micro steps and using this method?
Well, when I first started at Thrive, I would look at the micro steps and think, that's it? Like what?
Yeah.
And that is the whole point. You're going to read them in this book and think like, these are tiny. Like what is this? And that's exactly the point. So like, you try one, you see the results, and you want to try another, and you want to try another. You might give one up if it's not working. You might stack one on top of another. We love this concept of habit stacking. One of my favorite habit stacks is when you brush your teeth in the morning or wash your face at night, which you do anyway, add on a habit of thinking of 3 things or people you're grateful for, and make them little things, make them different every day. That's one that has really, really stuck with me and has helped me thrive, because gratitude, as you know, is such a hugely powerful emotion. I mean, look, I don't think I can ever say I have graduated from the school of thriving and I'm 100% A plus thriver. It's ebbs and flows, right? Things are going to happen in our lives. We're going to experience stuff outside of our control. But the point is that micro steps are these tiny little science-backed actions that you can control, and you can do, anytime to help yourself thrive a little bit more.
I love it all. What is your Instagram so I can put it up on the screen?
It's at MKHID, MKID.
Awesome. Everybody needs to read the book. It is amazing. Marina, thank you so much for your time.
Ashley, you've been awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a good one.
Bye.